Welcome back. Today we're going to create a tutorial in Premiere Pro. I'm going to show you how to open the software, how to ingest material, and then how to do a very basic edit. All right, so today we're going to be using Adobe Premiere Pro. Very simple to get to. Start menu down here in the Windows. You're going to go to Adobe, which is the software we're using, and we're looking for Premiere Pro. All right, open Premiere Pro. Splash screen. I have a split screen, so you're not seeing the splash screen open. And here we go. Here's your start menu. All right, so from here, I have a whole bunch of projects that I've been working on. You probably will not have these. You will have a new project and an open project tab. If you have a project that you're working on, maybe somebody else has a project they shared with you, you can open that project right here. If you don't, then you'll just create a new project. One thing to note while you're in here is that there is a Learn tab. If you use that Learn tab, Adobe gives you all of these tutorials to give you the basics of video editing. All right, they give you access to some really cool stuff, and I think they give you all the clips. So if there's something in here that you want to edit, learn how to do, they give you the clips and things to edit right here inside the software. It's actually really cool. All right, but for you guys, I'm showing you how to use the software right now, so you'll get the very basic editing tutorial right here. All right, so all we're going to do is go back to home. I'm not going to open one of these projects. I will create a new project. And on this splash screen, you have decisions to make. You can choose the media that you want to edit. All right, if you have a folder and you know where that's at, you can navigate to that folder. Yours are probably going to be in the downloads folder. So from this screen, you can either navigate to find your videos that you want to edit, or you can just create your project from here. Make sure that you give it a name. This is called Practice Edit. And then make sure that you know where it's saving. For you guys, you should be saving everything to your OneDrive. And it should be right here on the sidebar. You should be able to find your OneDrive. And then if you're like me, you have your OneDrive kind of organized, like I have everything from last year, everything from this year. So I would put my things in this year into my Adobe folder, into my Premiere Pro folder. And that's it. Once I get to that Premiere Pro folder, all I'm going to do is select that folder. That's it. And then I'm going to create my new project. All right. And it's going to create the project right here. This is the basic default workspace. All right, these 5 windows are where you will do most of your editing. Sometimes you get the Essential Graphics window open over here. I don't have mine open right now, but we'll get to that later. All right, so here are your 5 basic windows. The source monitor, where you can preview your videos before you actually edit them and put them on the timeline. The program monitor, which is a preview of what is edited on the timeline, so you can play your video back right here and watch your edits in real time. All right, here's the timeline. This is where all the media goes that you are editing. You are actually editing physically on a timeline. This is where your nonlinear editing becomes a reality. All right, and then you have a very small window here with just a few tools in it. Recognize that there are like 8 or 9 tools in here, but they also have drop downs. So there are more tools hidden in there, but be aware you don't require a whole lot of tools. You have to have a select tool to kind of move things around. You have to have a razor tool to cut video. But really, other than that, these tools are very basic, and you don't use them a whole lot. The hand tool to kind of slide the timeline, and then you have a rectangle tool and a text tool, which we will use later when we're building graphics inside of our project. All right, the one we're going to use primarily today is the project bin. All right, it's underneath my little window right here. I'm going to close that window out. All right, you can still hear me. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to my hard drive. Let's go import. And then I'm going to go find my videos. So my videos are in my hard drive that I just connected, and it's this one here. I'm going to go to, let's say I have some stuff from this year, and it's probably going to be in football. All right, so any of these will work. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a few of these videos. All right, so once I have the videos selected that I want to bring in, I'm just going to click open, and it's going to bring them into my project bin. All right. Now, if I want to really keep this thing organized, I can add bins down here. So if I click this folder button, that's how to add a new bin. And I'm going to call this one videos. All right. And I can take my videos that I have here, and I can drag those into that videos bin. Now it's kind of organized. So if I go into videos bin, here's my videos that I brought in. I can go back up one. Here's my videos bin. I'm going to go ahead and create a new bin, and I'm going to do audio. So I'm going to import some music, and we'll go ahead and do that right now. We'll go import, and I'm going to go back to this folder. I have music on here. Oh man, I mean, I got so much. So try not to pick something that's too terrible, right? All right, so we'll just grab something. Open that. All right, so now I have an audio wave in here. It's Godsmack Bulletproof, which is a good football song. All right, so from here you have assets imported. We're going to get those into the timeline here to edit them. So here's how we do it. Open them up, grab a video, drag and drop it into the timeline. Really simple. That's it. See that? Now we've just added that video to the timeline. If I want to grab another one, I can grab another one, drag and drop it in the timeline as well. All right, I can extend the timeline by grabbing these little balls down here, grab, drag, and now I can see more of my timeline. So now I have 2 videos on the timeline. All right, so now I can play that back if I want or watch it in real time. All right, these are edited videos that I've already edited. All right, so these have already got edited music and everything into them. I think I posted these on social media. It gives you an idea how to bring stuff into the project and how to put it on the timeline and edit it. Now look, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can edit here. You can grab these videos, you can drag them over to the program monitor, and look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different windows that you can drop that video into. And for each one, it's going to give you a different editing style. So you can overlay, which means I'm going to overlay at that point. I'm going to cover up everything else down the timeline. All right, I can insert. All right, so that's going to take right where my current time indicator is at, and it's going to insert this video into that gap. All right, or I can replace. So it's going to basically do what overlay does, only it's going to replace the things that are in the timeline at that point. All right, I can overwrite, which is essentially an overlay. All right, it's just going to overwrite everything on the timeline. All right, I can insert before and I can insert after. Now, the other cool thing about this is you can double click these videos and you can see them in the source monitor before you actually put them on the timeline. So if you have a clip, if it's a really long clip and you want to trim just a piece out of it, so you can use these buttons here and mark in and mark out, all right, which are also quick keys. I can use the I to mark in. I can use the O on my keyboard to mark out. Now I have that little segment of video right there that I can take, and I can drag that and I can insert it. And watch my timeline when I drop this in there. All it does is slide everything down the timeline. That's an insert. Control Z, I'm going to back step and undo that. I'm going to do this again, only this time I'm going to overwrite. Now it's not going to shift the timeline. It's just going to cover up whatever's there, right? I'm going to back step and redo it. I'm going to drag it again. Now if I do an overlay, watch what happens. Look, it just puts it above it on the timeline. So there's no editing being done to this clip below it. It's just overlaying what's there, right? So think in terms of maybe I have a graphic that I want to put in there, all right? Good way to do a graphic is just to drag it there into the overlay spot, all right? So really simple to do a quick edit here, easy to import stuff in, easy to check it out in the source monitor and maybe select pieces from it that we want to edit, and very easy to drag and drop it on the timeline or drag it to the program monitor and decide how we want that edit to be laid in there. And it's kind of a cool way to just kind of test the way the edit's going to look before you commit to it, right? So you can check it out, overlay it. If you don't like that, you can backstep it and try a different way. So I think that's enough for your first intro. Now you should know how to start a new project, how to name it, how to make it go into the folder where you can find it later to open it and re-edit it. You know how to import stuff 4 or 5 different ways into the project. All right, you know how to take that stuff and lay it on the timeline. That's it.